do you sort of see how music, breaks down barriers, and just in terms of as a communication, as a way to communicate? So you're meeting other musicians. It's like you can't speak the language, but somehow you can speak.
Yes, you're joining. In many cases, you're playing with military bands from other countries, and music is the common language. It descends all barriers, if you like, and that might sound cheesy, but it actually does. The first clarinet part of a Georgian Army band composition is much the same as something that would be written in England. We performed with military bands from all three of those countries while we were there, and we spent a day in the conservatoire in Armenia with the students there. So they came and sat in with us, and some of them were outstanding musicians, diploma performers standard, but they still got as much out of it as we did, I feel. And again, they couldn't speak English, but that international language of music linked us. And they turned up at our concerts. They'd met us, and we'd had a social with them, and they brought their friends to the concerts, and it was a fantastic experience. And I think it bridged many gaps. Again, in a region that's, the South Caucasus is a political hotspot, if you like, and the British Army band's presence there, and with the defence attaché of each embassy. I mean, the defence attaché is the same chap for all three of those embassies, so it was very much him that decided to have a band out there and do his thing and use us to promote British industry in the region.
You've lost your sort of permanent position. You've managed to retain some strong military roots. I mean, how long until you retire now? Or are you...
I don't think anybody ever really retires. You just change direction. So on the 16th of April this year, my Army Reserve Band life came to an end. I'd already had 3 one-year extensions, and the units, because the Army Medical Services Band is managed by a hospital support regiment in York. So we're very much back to the old system of a regimental band. The band was down to 16 players in strength 3 years ago, and I formed a recruiting team, and sadly and stupidly recruited my own replacement. So I helped make myself redundant, if you like. But the band's gone from strength to strength. They're 44 strong now. They're a bit of a dilemma with clarinet players at the moment, because I've been asked back to do a Remembrance Day concert with them because they're short of musicians. Some of the band have left, some have been posted, or husbands have been posted, others have had to change instruments, so the band's left with 4 clarinets. So from 5 or 6 months ago, on paper they had 12, and now they've only got 4 that are actually functioning. So again, I'm assisting them on a volunteer basis this time.
And how do you sort of reflect on your military career then?
With great pride, if I'm honest. Again, I don't want to sound cheesy. I think the decision, when I left to join the police force, I think being a police officer, for me, was aided by the fact I'd stood on a stage and been able to play a solo and present myself to people. When you're a police officer, you're very much in the public eye. People expect you to know what you're doing, as they do with a performer on the stage. So one complemented the other for me. And now when I look back over a military band career, 23 years regular service and 12 years plus all the time with the Hampshire Police Band that wasn't part of my police duties officially, I'm very proud of what I've achieved, very proud. And the enjoyment, how many people go to work and enjoy their day's work? The English, a German once told me, "Oh, you English, you're so strange. You're the only nation in Europe that expects to enjoy a day's work." And I thought, if that's right, it's very sad, because I'm lucky to have gone to work every day in life and enjoyed what I'm doing. When I was in the junior leaders band, I'd hurt the ligaments in my knee and was off marching. And off the band was to Amberley Horse Show. So I thought I had this easy weekend with a couple of mates, because everybody had gone, the whole band and the instructors, and I got called down there. Corporal Smith, he said, "I've got a little job for you to do while we're away at Amberley Horse Show. 5,000 records have been delivered from the press, and there's a spelling mistake on the record sleeve." "Oh, that's sad, sir." "Not sad, really, because you and your 2 compatriots are going to rectify it." So armed with a box of razor blades each, we shaved the P, the tail off the P on 5,000 record sleeves, that instead of saying junior trooper, the printers had actually spelt it junior tropper. So armed with a magnifying glass and a razor blade, it nearly sent us mad over the weekend. And I still have a copy of that album and a photograph of it to this day, because people don't believe you. No, that can't be right. Yeah, there it is. There's the record.
You know, you mentioned about the sort of the Kneller boys, etc. Obviously, one of the reasons why we're doing this is because Kneller Hall is potentially going to close.
Yeah.
What do you feel about its, the closure of Kneller Hall?
I think as a police officer, I see both sides of everybody's story. And Kneller Hall was never really fit for purpose in the modern day, if you like. We were sat on that bandstand, and twice a day we had to stop while Concorde flew over. There's been lots of aircraft noise. And on the other hand, I can see it is the institutional home of military music within the UK, and it'll be an absolute crime and a tragedy if it's allowed to close. It's part of our heritage. Military music makes us distinct in Europe. It makes us British. It's part of our Britishness, if you like. And for the ancestral home of military bands to close will be a real tragedy.
Did you ever meet Trevor Sharp?
Yes.
Did you ever conduct you on the rock?
Yes.
Did he stop when Concorde were flying?
I can't remember. I know George Evans did. But numerous directors or conductors that were taken, they would stop the band. Not during a performance on the rock. If it was a rehearsal, they would. And there was other loud jets as well. I think the Boeing 727s were still flying when I was here, one of the noisiest aircraft in Europe at the time. And they were louder than Concorde in a lot of ways.
Okay, any other last minute thoughts?
From my point of view of a life-changing decision, walking into that careers office as a 15-year-old lad was the best thing I ever did. I overcame my shyness. I was really, really shy. So music's brought myself to the fore, if you like. I see my son now, who's 17, and he looks like a mini me. People say, "Oh God, that's you." He's very shy, and he started off playing the clarinet, and he's dropped it, and it's got me around the world. I took up music initially to avoid double maths on a Wednesday morning, because you had a music lesson during that double maths period, and I hated maths with a passion. I still can't count, but I've been around the world playing the clarinet and the saxophone.